Hello students, in previous class we have seen in plant tissue part difference between permanent tissue and meristematic tissue. Now I am starting permanent tissue. You will see on the board permanent tissue can broadly be divided in two parts. First one is called simple permanent tissue and second one is called complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue will again be divided in two parts. First one is called supporting tissue, second one is called protective tissue. Supporting tissue are of three types in plant body: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Whereas protective tissue are of two types: epidermis and cork. Now come to the complex permanent tissue. It is again be divided in two parts: xylem and phloem. Now you will see these all are the permanent tissue. Now you will see main characteristics of permanent tissue. First, you will find most of the permanent tissue are dead in nature, some are living, which is given in first point. Most of them are dead in nature because it has to perform mechanical support to the plant body. Second one is, when we see any permanent tissue, we find its cells are well differentiated. It acquires definite shape. Why? Because it has to perform a specific function which is given in second point. Well differentiated tissue acquires fixed shape to perform a specific function. Now come to the third point, when we will see nucleus. If cell is living, in that condition nucleus will be present in periphery due to centrally located vacuole. But if cells are dead, devoid of nucleus, that means nucleus is lacking in dead cell. Now come to the fourth point, vacuole. Vacuole are larger in size and centrally located in permanent tissue. Rest characteristic you have seen in comparison between meristematic and permanent tissue in previous class. Now we will start one by one each type of permanent tissue. I am starting supporting tissue. Supporting tissue, protective, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. These three are protecting tissue. That means it provides mechanical support to the plant body. Now, look at here. Supporting permanent tissue. Supporting permanent tissue. Permanent tissue. It can broadly be divided in three headings. First one is called parenchyma. Second one is called parenchyma. Second one is called collenchyma. And third one is called sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma. Before starting in detail, first of all, you will see which type of structure is present in this cell. That means what structure, what shape and size are of parenchymatous tissue, what shape and size are of conchymatous tissue, and what is the shape and size of that of sclerenchymatous tissue. First you will see here, when you will see its shape, you will find it is isodiametric in shape. Isodiametric in shape like this. Here vacuole is present, this one is nucleus. Vacuole is present, nucleus. Vacuole is present, nucleus. Vacuole is present, nucleus. You can see here all the cells are compactly arranged. All the cells are compactly arranged without any intercellular space. Vacuole is centrally located. Nucleus Since this one is plant cell, that's why you can say this one is cell wall. Cell membrane is also present in each type of plant cell, but it is present in its surrounding, in the surrounding of protoplasm. Now come to the collenchyma. When you will see the cell of collenchyma, you will find it is polyhedral in shape. You can see in the diagram compactly arranged polyhedral cell. Compactly arranged polyhedral cell, centrally located vacuole, nucleus is present in the periphery. You can see this one is vacuole, nucleus, cell wall. This structure you can easily see, but they differ in structure from parenchyma because its cell wall has thickening of pectin at the corner. In each corner there is thickening of pectin. You can see in the diagram thickening of pectin along with the cellulose. This one is pectin. This one is pectin plus cellulose. But when you see cell wall of parenchyma, it consists only of cellulose. When you will see collenchyma, its cell wall also consists of cellulose, but along with cellulose, at each corner there is thickening, there is deposition of pectin also. Now come to the sclerenchyma. When you will see sclerenchyma, such type of elongated structure you will find, or rounded structure in some case you will find like this. Rounded structure in some case you will find. This one is scleroid and tracheid. These are the sclerenchyma. Now come to the nature. What is the nature? You will find nature of parenchyma are living. Nature of collenchyma is also living. But when you will see nature of sclerenchyma, it is dead. When you will see second one, intercellular space. Mostly it is compactly arranged, but sometimes there is intercellular space, that means may present. But here you can see no intercellular space, that means intercellular space is absent. Intercellular space is absent, and here in sclerenchyma also, since it is dead cell, its intercellular space is also absent. Now come to the third point, and that third point is cell wall. When you will see cell wall, it is thin. It is thin without secondary deposition. It is thin without secondary deposition, but here it is thick with secondary deposition. That means here pectin plus cellulose are present as discussed in diagram. But when you will see sclerenchyma, it is also thick, but here instead of cellulose or pectin, only and only lignin is present. That means it is lignified due to deposition of lignin there. Now come to the Fourth point, see the cytoplasm. This is the first one, nature, living, dead. Second one, intercellular space. It may present. Here it is absent. Here also it is absent. Now come to the third, cell wall. Thin without secondary deposition. Thick with secondary deposition. What is secondary deposition? Pectin is accumulated at the corner along with the cellulose. Now come to the sclerenchyma. Sclerenchymatous cells are thick and lignified because it is dead, and deposition of lignin is also present there. Now come to the next point. Come to the cytoplasm. When you will see cytoplasm, it is living, that's why present. Here also it is present. Here it is devoid. That means devoid of cytoplasm, lacking of cytoplasm is also present there. Now come to the cell wall, pits in cell wall. Pits in cell wall, you will find absent, but it is present. You can see here pits like this. Small pits are present in the cell wall. You can see in the diagram also. These are pits. These are pits which is present in the cell wall. Now come to the vital function. Vital function. What are the vital function? It is storage of food. Its main function is storage of food. Other than mechanical support, its main function is mechanical support. Mechanical support. And here its main function is also mechanical support. Mechanical support. You have seen here. First one you have seen nature of cell, living, dead. Second one, intercellular space, may present, absent. Then you have seen cell wall. Cell wall consists of cellulose plus pectin. Here cell wall is lignified. After that come to the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is present here, but it is devoid or absent because these cells of sclerenchyma are dead. Pits in cell wall, when you will see, you will find here no pits are present. Here pits are not present. Why? Because these both are living in nature. They can transport their materials easily through the cell membrane or cell wall. But when you will see sclerenchyma, since these are dead cells, they can't transport substances. That's why pits are present in its cell, so that transportation process can be easier. Now come to the vital function. All these are mainly for the mechanical support, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. But other than mechanical support, parenchyma also perform storage of food. These two are mainly for the mechanical support. In this session, we will start one by one parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma in somehow detail. Thank you.